Hi, this is Sarah Presley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at sounds being a distraction. Now, sounds are very personal in the sense that a sound that could feel okay for me might not feel okay for you, and vice versa. Sounds bring with them thought processes. So for instance, if you're meditating at home and you hear the click of the washing machine, it could bring a whole thought process just with that tiny little sound in the first place. It could be that you're thinking, oh gosh, that's another job I need to do. It's always me sorting those things out. And, you know, before you know it, you've created a great big film out of one sound, you know, because we create movies out of sounds and sometimes the thoughts we have as well. So, or for instance, it could be a neighbour just shutting a car door. And although it was a very, very brief sound, again, it could bring a whole thought process about your relationship that you've had with your neighbours over time, or lack of relationship. You know, so many different movies and stories can be played out just from a neighbour making a noise. So sounds are personal. For instance, if there were two different people hearing a dog barking, one person could be thinking, oh, stop that dog barking, while the other person could be thinking, oh, bless that dog. And the same with babies crying. You know, some people can be, oh, the sound of a baby crying, it's so lovely, you know, the sound of new birth and life, while the other person is going, oh, it's like it's going like a drill through my head. And no one's right and wrong with their reaction to sound. It's based on our lives, you know, our experiences and how we perceive them. So I'm not going to be saying don't react to a sound. What I'm going to be saying is maybe accept that there are going to be sounds within your experience, that there will be sounds that will be distracting, and it's how we treat those sounds that are really important. Because if we sit there with a sense of it being interrupting our peace, then we're going to find that there's going to be a resistance within the meditation right from the start to the finish, you know, because what we're seeking is peace, and sound is the very opposite, you know, to our peacefulness. Whereas if we come from a place of we accept that sounds are just forming the backdrop to our experience, then we can come in a place where we're much more willing to go with the ebb and flow of what's going on around us. Now, if sound though does bring a thought process, then what we can very, very simply do is give it a label in order to separate ourselves from our thought process. So maybe by labeling the sound as hear, as in I hear this sound, can in that very instance create that separation. And I love using the word hear because it's also got that double meaning, that not only do I hear the sound, but it brings me to the here and now. So there's going to be in this meditation the first part where we're not going to be searching for sounds, but if there's any distracting sounds, we're just going to give it a label. But then I'm going to bring something else in, and what I'm going to bring in is this singing bowl. And this singing bowl, I'm going to be tapping just very gently on the side like this, like that. And you can hear there's a sound going around the inside of the singing bowl, and it's bouncing around, creating that resonance. And what you're going to be doing is primarily focusing on your breath, but just being aware that that sound exists, and then being aware of any pauses that happens between the sounds in between. And every now and then I'll tap the bowl again and again, just bringing that awareness that there's your breath, and that there's sound that exists, and then there's silences, and so that we get much more used to that kind of ebb and flow of sound that just happens very naturally, along with the singing bowl and everything else around us. So get yourself nice and comfortable now, closing your eyes or bringing your eyes to a fixed spot of the room. Connecting with your breath, connecting with your body, just allowing your body to rest in your experience today, just feeling that you are supported by your chair, by the ground. And be aware of your breath coming in and out of your body, aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. And maybe following the sensation or movement in through your nose and back out again. Or taking that journey through the nostrils and into the chest before you exhale. Before you exhale and release. Or maybe being aware of your diaphragm moving up and down. Being aware of your belly. Or maybe you're aware of your breath somewhere else. And as we're focusing on the breath, just being aware of sounds around us. And if any sounds are distracting and taking you away from your breath, just labeling as here. And then coming back to your breath, aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. Your mind might be drifting to stories about the sounds outside of the room. Just label as here and come back to your breath. Or labeling the breath here when you're distracted by sounds inside of the room. Or sounds in your body. You might find that you're labeling here a few times together. And that's okay, because you're being aware. You're noticing. You're noticing the moment that you're in. Aware of my breath coming in, aware of my breath going out. Now letting go of the sounds around you and just being aware now of the sound of the singing bowl. The primary awareness is of your breath, and the secondary awareness is just of the sound of the singing bowl. Being aware of the sound and the pauses in between. Just being aware of your body resting on your chair and your breath at your nose. Just sit and witness this moment. Before gently opening your eyes. Excellent, well done. Okay, so thank you for joining me this week, this day, this hour, this moment. And I will see you again another time, sending blessings your way. Goodbye.